Hey, what's up everybody? I'm Justin, WI4EC. This is Blackbeard's Radio. Today we're going to be talking about whether or not you can use one external speaker for two radios. Hang with me and we'll go through it. Alrighty guys, so as some of you know that have watched some of my other mobile install videos, in my truck I have a Yaesu 891 that is mounted for a mobile setup. I also have a Yaesu FT 7900R, I think it is. I don't know. It's a UHF VHF rig. My issue with the 891 and the space in my truck, I have an external speaker, and I have one external speaker. And I'm trying to find an efficient and economical way to be able to hear everything. The 7900R, the UHF VHF radio that I got, the internal speaker on the radio does not work. It was a secondhand radio to me, so I can't complain. It came with an external speaker. Well, that got me thinking. My 891 is mounted under my rear seat. Some of y'all have seen that in previous videos, and I'll show it to you we'll get into that in just a minute. So what I was thinking was, how can I make my 891 play over the external speaker that I have mounted for the 7900 effectively? The 891 is not plugged into it. I realized I could move the plug back and forth. There's not enough cord to reach both of them, for the record. So my buddy, he has an 891 and a FTM 500, and he accomplished this by buying a mixer, a 5-volt mixer, and one speaker, but then he also had to buy a 12-volt to 5-volt current adjuster. I don't think that's the right word for that, but it takes your 12-volt current and it brings it down to 5 volts, and it goes into the mixer, and then the mixer has an output of whatever the mixer output is. So you input on the backside of the mixer, and then it has an output to one speaker. And that's a great option, and that is probably the best way to do it. You can control the volume settings. You don't have to worry about overdriving things. It seems really, really wonderful. However, I'm cheap and want to see if I can do it with what I have. So here we go. All right, so in the center of my truck, there's my radio, my air conditioning controls. I have my two radios on a RAM mount, for those of y'all that hadn't seen. My microphones are mounted. This is my UHF VHF. I changed these out to magnetic holds because they're a little bit slimmer, and you just throw it on there and it goes. Same thing with that one. They just kind of hold. So my speaker is mounted down here in the middle. And as you can tell, I don't really have a whole lot of space to put that elsewhere. I have a second speaker, but I don't have anywhere that I can get it with. Most of these speakers only come with 6 feet of wire. So instead of trying to figure out how to extend that wire and cutting it, and I know people have put power poles in them before, I wanted to see if I could make that one speaker work for both of those radios. So we're going to do a sound check real quick. WI4EC, testing a speaker.
AC4RP, repeater.
So you can maybe not see the volume knob, but the volume knob is, what's that, a third of the way up or so? And it's pretty, you can hear the audio pretty well. If I do the same right now with the 891, let me... Let's kick it down to the extra portion. so we can try and avoid people. So can you hear it at all? So I'm at half volume, and I can hear the static. Let me... WI4EC, testing a speaker. Test, 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 test. So, can't really hear it very well. And it is mounted under my seat. So, what I'm going to try and do is a cable to make that speaker play for both of those radios without a mixer. All right, so under the back seat of my truck, this is the internal speaker on the 891. So once I put the seat down, you can understand why I don't hear the speaker very well. I think anybody that has a back seat and the radio is mounted under the back seat runs into the same issue. The external speaker plug on the 7900 body is right here, and I don't have enough cable. I don't have enough cable to pull. It's really tight to get to there. I might have 2 or 3 inches of extra slack, so I can't unplug it and plug it in every time I want to switch back and forth, and that's not really the best outcome anyway. So what I have is, I actually found an odd auxiliary cable adapter. Normally we have splitters where they have 1 male jack and 2 female jacks, so you can take it from one audio source and play it on 2 different speakers. And this cable does the exact opposite. So I'm hoping that I will be able to plug this end into the 891, this one into the 7900, and then this one to the speaker and make it work. I'll get that switched out and let you know. All right, so I hadn't made it pretty. Not that a whole lot of this is pretty anyway, but one's plugged in there, one's plugged in down there, and then the speaker is now plugged in here. Let's go back to the front of the truck and see A, if the speaker is still playing for anything, and B, if I can hear both radios on it. All right, so let's do the first power roll. We still have speaker tone down there. For this radio, came across fine. WI4EC, testing a speaker. Got into the repeater just fine, could hear the confirmation tone. So now let's power the 891 on and see if we can hear static. Somebody on 277 a minute ago, so let's go back there.
That was a little brother to the 1000, but I have a 990. I think it's like circa 1995 or something to that effect. But yeah,
now let's see. It sounds like the 891's playing over here too. So that was like an $8 fix.
Yeah, so that's the weather up here. What's going on down there with the weather? I hope it's better than up here. Back to you.
it sounds like everything's going to work just fine. I could hear both radios, even when they were playing on top of each other, I could hear them fine. So that gives me encouragement. Hopefully that's working well. All right, guys. I'm Justin, WI4EC. This is Blackbeard's Radio. Appreciate y'all coming along while I see if I can cheaply make 2 radios talk on one speaker. Success, an $8 cable. I'll try and remember to link the cable that I use to do this in the video. Might not be the most effective and efficient way to do it, but it does work. Leave it to a ham to try and make things work cheaply, right? All right, guys. Don't forget, like and subscribe. I hope you have a great day. Justin, WI4EC, Blackbeard's Radio.